Okay.
Three's Company up in here.
Hello, everybody. This is my extended family member, Syntell and our guest, Cortney.
Hello.
She doesn't have a last name.
I was gonna say, I just don't. Okay.
We just want to talk about Avengers for a second. We just saw it, and Cortney was kind enough to lend us her apartment, and so now we're just gonna chat about it for y'all.
And we're gonna do another special episode on what's in Cortney's refrigerator.
No. There's nothing in there.
That's why we're all hungry and trying to get through this quickly.
All right.
Denny's is coming quickly. You're generally more open to bad movies than I am.
Bad movies? You thought it was bad?
Hold on, no. I'm just messing around. But he generally he liked Wanted.
Well, it was fun.
I liked it too.
Okay, well y'all like that movie.
It was fun. It's good for what it's worth, right?
You go first about Avengers.
All right, this is how I feel about Avengers, short and sweet. If the original Avengers was like a 9.5, I'm gonna give this Avengers about an 8. It's very entertaining, extremely entertaining. All your fun-loving characters are there. There's good character growth and development. It's a good story, but somewhere it misses the mark and becomes kind of like another recycled, just Hollywood blockbuster going with the same formula. I can't exactly put my finger on what it is just yet, but it's missing something.
We have a microphone in the shot because we've totally jerry-rigged this situation together. It's cool. The microphone's part of the family now. I don't even know if that microphone's picking us up, to be quite honest. It's a voiceover microphone.
And we're kind of like stacked
on top hello. All right, I liked Age of Ultron a lot, actually. I thought story-wise, it was a superior movie to the last one. Action-wise, the first one was better.
I had a problem with the action. Yeah. Because you couldn't see anything.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there were moments where the action was just gorgeous. When he slowed everything down and it felt like a comic book come to life. But most of the time, the action was like this in your face. I'm like, okay, I don't know what's happening. I'm stitching together the sequence of the action and I can kind of get a sense of it. But it felt like Joss Whedon was tired. And he's like, all right, this is my last one. I'm out. I'm done with this.
But see, okay, now that's a good thing, good point to say, because you said you feel like Joss Whedon is tired.
Yeah.
And I thought the story in the first Avengers was better than the Avengers of the Age of Ultron. So to me, I was like, well, maybe he kind of got a little weary with the pen.
I don't know, man.
Okay, I haven't weighed in yet.
Go ahead.
I liked the first one better. Okay. I did like this one, but I felt like for me it was a whole lot of storylines just thrown in and then amazing action. I had a hard time and I love Joss. Love him. Love the weaving. The first one to me was like, it was perfect. Everything just went in symmetrically and just was an amazing film. And the action just kind of created this like perfect cushion for just beautiful, you know. But for this one, to me, it was just a lot of action thrown at me, and though it was beautiful pictures when they slowed it down, I felt like I was holding for 3D, you know. And we weren't in a 3D film, so I could see, okay, this is a 3D moment.
In the very first Avengers, it was really good. I mean, the action wise, all the action sequences were spot on. Yeah. You could see what's going on. You could see the fists actually hitting the faces.
Yeah. The action was born from somewhere. Like, it was born out of the story for me in the first one. In this one, it felt like they're already embedded in this war, you know, like where from the beginning to the end, like there's some sort of element of like battle is necessary, whereas the battle is driving this instead of, for me, like the story driving the battle.
I don't know. For some reason, I kind of like the setup in this one. It's like it's kind of what I felt like Matrix Reloaded should have done, where you got involved in what was happening in the world, because I was hoping that after the Matrix, Neo's flying up into the sky. I wanted to see what people were reacting to when that happened. I wanted to see their interaction with the people in the city rescuing people, and they actually went and showed that here. It felt more real than any other comic book movie in that regard to me. Like, it felt like it was coming close to home. In the way it was treating war, I guess.
Well, it made the human element more
present.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like other comic book movies kind of treat humans like this side thing. Does that make any kind of sense? Maybe. It was like the Titanic was going down and they were trying to save everybody.
No, I would agree with that. Like, I think it was kind of an answer to all of the films from Captain America to the first Avengers to all of them, where you see all this destruction that's happening and you never really hear about it after the fact.
Right.
So the fact that they kind of tied everything that's happening and how civil unrest, you know, like the idea of what's happening with human beings and the Avengers and their things that
the fallout.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that aspect of it.
He doesn't look very happy.
No, I'm just because I know you hated Winter Soldier, Captain America, Winter Soldier, and I don't, for the life of me, I don't understand why. Because out of all of Marvel's projects, I think they've had the best action sequences in that, because it wasn't as much special effects. You have a superhuman that doesn't have like Superman type power. She's really strong, but he's not shooting lasers and phasers and all this stuff out of his hands. When they do have contact and combat, you know, it looks more realistic. Whereas in this one, like, I saw Hawkeye take a punch from one of the robots, and I'm like, no, you would be dead. Your face would be like obliterated. It seemed like the levels of power between the people that are like Hawkeye and
he got punched in the face.
Yeah, and Black Widow weren't the same as like Hulk. It seemed like things weren't leveled. Whereas like in Winter Soldier, everything was. But it's easier to do that in Winter Soldier because there aren't any overly powered superheroes in that particular show.
Right.
So you can do more martial arts, kung fu,
gunplay.
It's a hard mix.
Flying at like Falcon when he was zipping around. You know,
I guess I was hoping from Captain America, thinking about it again, because I've only seen it one time and it was in theaters. I need to watch it again because I'm the only person that I know of that didn't enjoy it.
The action was more practical than this one. This one was,
you know what
way
it was?
over the
It's
top.
that everybody was a kung fu action star in that movie, and I'm like, where's this coming from? Like, even right on the boat, the first action sequence, he throws his shield down to fight this random guy who wants to fight him, and it's like, why this guy? Of all people, why is this guy special enough for you to put your shield down and fight? Who does he mean to the rest of the movie? Nothing. He never comes back. He wasn't in the previous Captain America. Like, why did that moment happen? What was that about? It was just exchanges. It was just martial arts porn at that point. I'm like, what is the meaning of this scene? Because it's not driving the story forward. And the way they set up Captain America, he was like knocking people around on the boat. I'm like, this is gonna be badass. But then everyone was knocking people around. So that's just how it functions in that universe. Is everyone can knock everybody around like ragdolls. You know what I'm saying? It's like it wasn't limited to Captain America. It felt like everybody had that power.
You know what it is? Okay, I think I remember what the problem is. With Captain America is every person that Captain America went up to had some type of weight or value as them being a threat to him. Even though he's a superpowered person, he still had to like deal with him on a one-on-one kind of level. Whereas on this, all they did was just throw a couple robots at you, throw a few more robots at you. They answered their conflict by throwing more robots, and it was just like they were just sweeping away stuff. It just seemed too easy for me.
You know, well, I'm sorry, going back to Captain America in that scene, the way that I think about it, also Captain America is from another time period where hand-to-hand combat is what he knows and where he's comfortable. Right. So it's almost like a throwback for him on where he came from and what he knows.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So it could have just been that was him in his element.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to him being in present day now, which is completely different than, you know, the 1940s where he came from. So there's a whole, I feel like that was an opportunity for him to be like, I can just kind of be, you know.
I feel like that's a whole like long discussion, Captain America, because it's like the thing, like, okay, there was a lot of cliche moments in that film that bothered me too, like when they were on the escalator and she's like, quick, kiss me. I'm like, oh, okay, let's borrow that from Inception. Just to distract from the bad guys, because the bad guys aren't going to look at them for some reason. When I see people kissing, I'm going to look at them, because people don't generally do PDA anymore. That's nitpicking. But then the end, like,
it didn't make me think. I forgot. I don't remember that.
There was a whole thing in Inception. Joseph Gordon-Levitt makes the girl kiss him. But anyway, that's my news.
But you're saying they did that in Captain America?
They did it in Captain America, and then towards the end, he's like, I won't fight you. I'm like, really? Okay, that's what's going to happen. Because that's what always has to happen, because he's good-hearted. He's going to throw his shield down. He's not going to fight anymore. He's going to take the punches.
I don't think that was it. It was about his friend. Ultimately, are you talking about the scene with Bucky?
Towards the end, yeah, Bucky.
That was about...
It was just very predictable to me. It's like, oh, the bomb stops at 3 seconds before it blows up. Okay. I didn't see that coming.
So your problem is with the story, not the action.
I have to watch it again, because I was distracted by the story. Whereas Avengers is the opposite. The action was like whatever, but I liked the story. I liked what they were at least trying to do with the story. And I liked the dialogue. I thought the dialogue was funny and quick and clever.
Am I the only one that had a problem with them just throwing robots at more robots as
what else can they throw at them?
I mean, they were just there. But
they did that in the first Avengers. They just threw more aliens.
What would you rather?
I would rather see Ultron fight the Avengers.
He did.
They were all Ultron.
I know, technically speaking.
They were all avatars of Ultron. I thought that was so cool.
I kind of like that aspect. It reminded me of Agent Smith, not to bring back the Matrix again.
Oh my god, how awesome is this? For me, in a weird way, it's calling back to my childhood because I was thinking of stories exactly like... I wanted to craft action sequences like what they were doing. Mm-hmm. Like with the guy going in and rescuing all those people as the train was driving towards them. I'm like, this is so fucking cool.
Weaker Quicksilver, though. He wasn't better than the Quicksilver in Days of Future Past.
No.
I like the dynamic between him and I can't remember the dude's name with the arrows. The Hawkeye? Quicksilver, Hawkeye. Yeah, there you go. Hawkeye. Yeah. I'm sorry, people. That's redacted. My mistakes get cut out. Yours don't.
Yeah, I know. I've seen
that. No, I'll keep it. Don't worry. Hawkeye. I like the dynamic between him and Hawkeye. They had a thing going.
Hawkeye and Quicksilver.
Not Quicksilver, but is his name Quicksilver?
Yeah.
In this movie.
Yeah.
What's the name of the guy in X-Men?
Quicksilver.
It's the same character?
Yes.
Oh. These are the people I turn to.
Oh my goodness. Why do you think we were comparing them? Because they're the exact... Yeah.
I had no idea.
They're the same character.
It was one's Russian and one's...
Sony owns one
and
there
was
Disney
a whole big thing,
the other.
like, because they pretty much got cast at around the same time. And it's like they both got cast as the same character in 2 different films. So everybody was like, "Who's gonna be the better Quicksilver?" Okay. And
clearly X-Men. Clearly X-Men's
Evan Peters.
Yeah.
So exactly. So now we're all 3 in agreement.
I think my biggest problem with the movie was Hulk. It didn't feel like he was in the movie with everybody else. If that makes any kind of sense at all. It just felt like he wasn't. Every time Hulk was huge and green, that's what always distracted me. Was it didn't feel like he was really interacting with anybody.
But that's Hulk. When does he really, other than fighting, like who does he interact with?
I felt like I had a stronger connection to him in the first movie for some reason. The perfect moment that exemplifies it for me is near the beginning when they needed to take down this bunker of some kind with the gun on it. And like, someone needs to take care of someone needs to take care of that. And then they show Hulk for like a split second, and it explodes. I'm like, okay, that's what Hulk was the whole movie to me. If it wasn't Bruce Banner, like every time Hulk showed up, that's what he was.
Well, you know what it is. You got spoiled by the charismatic Hulk in the first Avengers, and
that's exactly what I'm saying.
We didn't get that in the second.
That's what I'm saying.
There was like one moment where he did something.
Well, you know what it was? He wasn't angry enough. Because in the first, I'm serious. No, I'm not saying like angry. Like he said in the first movie, I'm always angry. Yeah. That's the key to the Hulk.
Yeah.
Hulk didn't really want to be a part of the Avengers in them. He just, at the end, he came and joined them because it's like them versus the aliens. Okay, I'm going to join with them. This Hulk, it's almost like he made peace with them and I've accepted my role with these people. Yeah. That's what I mean by saying he wasn't angry enough.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give Avengers Age of Ultron?
7.5.
And you just lost that half point somewhere.
You know what? Because I'm processing it. It was 7.5 when we first left, and then I got in my car and I was driving on the freeway, and I'm like, oh, that's an 8. And now that we've been talking about it, it's a 7.5 again. It's very fun. It's a very entertaining. I definitely recommend seeing it. Absolutely, you gotta see.
I give it 8.5.
I give it an 8,
which is weird for me to like something more than Syntell. This is just bizarre. He's
I didn't. It's not that I didn't like it. I didn't like it. He just was.
It's just weird that I like it more than you.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm the super critical one. Anyway,
it's not bad. Go check it out.
8.
8.
I split the difference, so obviously 7.5.
I'll wake up in the morning and I might think it's an 8. But for now, in this exact moment, it's a 7.5.
It's very symmetrical with the theater we saw it in, which was room 8.
Also, 8 is infinity.
Ooh. Infinity. Marvel movies forever.
No. Never mind. Forget it.
I don't know what you guys are I'm not as cool as you guys. I'm just like, oh, fireworks.
Throw more robots at it.
Thank you guys for watching this special little weird reject episode of Good Thing, Bad Thing. I am Jabykoay.
It's your boy Syntell.
Cortney X.
She'll be back.
I like the X. The X is hot.